Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Nicole, Russo. Welcome to Spa Babies for Saturday, September the 2nd. Race number 7 on Jockey Club Gold Cup Day at the Spa is the kickoff leg of the Dollar Pick 6. It's for 2-year-olds going 7/8 of a mile. Let's take a look at this field. I think there are some very promising runners in this race. 10 in the body of the field. The 11 and 12 entered as also eligibles. The 7 is Enlighten, a first-time starter for Todd Pletcher, leading rider Arad Ortiz Jr. He's your morning line favorite at 3-1.
Yeah, and while the debut starter is the favorite, and I like that horse a lot, we'll discuss him more in a minute. Some of the horses in here we've already seen running in maiden special weights on Saturdays at this Saratoga meet. We know these races attract quality horses, so we know some of these horses have faced some good company, and some have the advantage of coming into this 7-furlong tilt with the foundation of a race beyond a mile under their belts already, although on turf.
Oh, the number 1 fits the bill. That's Ask Isaac. This is a second-time starter trained by Bill Mott, a son of Uncle Mo, sold for $400,000 as a yearling. Interesting that Mott put this horse on turf. The dam was a multiple stakes winner on dirt sprinting. The dam was a half to a multiple stakes place dirt runner. This guy seemed very green in his debut going 2 turns. He should be a lot fitter, and I like him switching back to the dirt. I think this is where he belongs.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a dirt type pedigree, and perhaps they went on turf just to get him some ground to run over. They didn't want to run him 5.5 furlongs or 6 furlongs on dirt, which were, kind of the other opportunities available around that time. 7 furlongs on dirt should be right in his wheelhouse, and he came out of a good maiden on turf. He finished behind Noted, who came back to win the sapling on dirt at Monmouth, and finished behind Spirit Prince, who came back to be on the board in the With Anticipation this week at Saratoga.
The number 2 is Shamrock Shake for trainer Tom Morley. Jockey Dylan Davis, another one that made his career debut on turf. And you look at this pedigree, there's a lot of dirt here. He's a son of Looking at Lucky that sold for $80,000 as a yearling. The dam was a multiple stakes winning dirt sprinter. Lots of angles here, getting blinkers, switching from turf, cutting back in distance. Needs a little bit of a wake up off that dull debut, though.
Yeah, although this is another one who's going turf to dirt, who probably could prefer the dirt and probably wanted that distance. Also coming out of a good turf maiden, finished behind Carson's Run, who also came back to be on the board in the With Anticipation.
While the 1 and the 2 are cutting back in distance, the number 3 general partner will stretch out a furlong for trainer Chad Brown, jockey Manny Franco. There's a nice pedigree here. This is a son of Speightstown who sold for $250,000 as a weanling. He is a half to 3 black type earners, including the grade 3 stakes place synthetic router, 7th Fleet Humor. Showed brief speed in his debut, still finished ahead of a next out winner, albeit in an off the turf maiden special. That horse won with a 72 buyer.
Yeah, and General Partner, I thought, gave a good account of himself on debut for an inexperienced horse. Brushed the gate at the start and then recovered pretty well. I think there's a good blend of speed and stamina in this pedigree. I'm not sure how far he'll want to go ultimately, but I think the 7 furlongs kind of middle distance is in the wheelhouse here.
Trainer Kenny McPeak has 2 first-time starters in this race, including the number 4, Rivetage. This is a son of Frosted, $65,000 yearling. The dam is a half to Better Now, who I believe on the Nashua is a 2-year-old, a grade 3 stakes going a mile on the dirt. There is some quality in this pedigree. Bullet workout out of the gate back in mid-August.
Yeah, that bullet work caught my eye. This is one of a couple of first-time starters in here who has a little bit of a shorter work tab. I think that could be a disadvantage of the debut starters when you have others in here who already have the 2-turn foundation. That said, I don't think it's wise to sleep on that work, that local bullet on a busy work tab on the 19th.
Brian Hernandez Jr. picks up the mount on the 4, Rivetage. The 5 is Justifiably So, and it's nice to see Nick Zito with a potentially promising 2-year-old at Saratoga. This is a son of Triple Crown winner Justify, who does so well with his 2-year-old debut runners. A big winning percentage, 24%. Justifiably sold for $375,000 as a yearling, is a half-brother to Cat Burglar, who was a good dirt horse, and the dam's a half to Away, the dam herself of 8 bells.
Yeah, this is a really nice pedigree. Justify is just on fire with his 2-year-olds this year, with some good maidens at Saratoga, with some group stakes performers internationally. And this is another one with a little bit of a shorter work tab, though. Again, a debut starter coming in, kind of already at a disadvantage and looking at that.
Ricardo Santana Jr. rides the 5, Justifiably So. The 6 is Just Be Happy, the other McPeak-trained first-time starter, a $125,000 yearling by champion sprinter Run Happy. Now, there's a lot of turf on the bottom of this pedigree. The dam's a half to grade 3 turf sprinter Sharp Sensation, a stakes winner on the turf named Confessing. But there's some other horses in this female family with dirt ability. I think this is a decent mixture.
Definitely a decent mixture. There are some horses, if you look at the family, who have that dirt ability, as you said. And Run Happy, I certainly look at him and I think he's a dirt sire. And he's very interesting to me. I think people expected his horses to be very precocious as he was a champion sprinter. That said, he kind of emerged as a 3-year-old himself, and some of his early crops took a little time to get going. I think people now are starting to figure out a little bit what type of mare works best with him and how his offspring need to be handled early, because he's starting to pick it up with his 2-year-old statistics.
Here's our morning line favorite, the number 7, Enlighten, for Pletcher and Arad Ortiz. He's a son of City of Light that sold for $450,000, and Todd's already unveiled a City of Light baby that ran real big earlier this meet. That's Fierceness, who popped a 95 Beyer speed figure. And what caught my eye was that breeze out of the gate on August the 19th. Todd put Enlighten and Fierceless together, and while Enlighten was a little bit slower than that horse, finishing about a neck behind, I think it's a good sign that Todd worked him with that monster.
Absolutely. That's just what I was going to say, that City of Light is already the sire of one of the more impressive 2-year-olds of this meet. And I liked that Fierceness came out of that August 19th work and then worked a bullet himself, and a bullet 5 furlongs to give him a little foundation for this debut, one of several 5 furlong works for him. I saw this horse at the yearling sale last year in Saratoga, and I really liked him a lot. He was big, leggy, good striding, looked like a classic type horse, plenty of route ability on the bottom side. Of course, City of Light was a very good miler type, but I think this horse might want even longer than this 7 furlongs.
If you like a speed pedigree with win early connections at a price, how about the 8? Typhoon Fury. This one is by the excellent first crop sire Mitoli. The dam by Tis Wonderful was multiple stakes placed on dirt. And Typhoon Fury has a long string of workouts leading up for his debut. Javier Castellano aboard.
Javier Castellano, who is riding as well as he ever has in his career, and George Weaver, who is just on fire with his young horses this year. You hit the nail on the head about good connections at a price. Mitoli, a prominent freshman sire on the list at this point of the year. And of course, it's to be expected that his offspring had speed. The Metropolitan Handicap and Breeders' Cup Sprint winner was the champion male sprinter of that year.
The 9 is Dive Bomber, a second-time starter by excellent first crop sire Omaha Beach, a $400,000 yearling and a half-brother to Botanical, a multiple stakes winning router on the synth. The dam handled dirt just fine, a juvenile grade 3 stakes winner. This horse has blinkers on, worked a bullet 5/8 and 59 and change in the blinkers, and got a learning debut, I thought, Nicole, kind of in between horses most of the way, forced to dive to the inside in the stretch. I thought he's going to gain a lot of experience from that race.
Definitely. And he's also coming out of the same maiden as general partner, and also had a troubled break. He brushed the gate a little. He was bumped at the start. I think the blinkers should help him focus and get away from the gate better. Omaha Beach, already the sire of a stakes winner at Ellis Park from his first crop, and a couple of other stakes placed horses to boot.
I am very much looking forward to the debut of the number 10, Jefferson Street. This is a son of Street Sense out of a half-sister to Frosted, of course, a multiple grade 1 winner. That dam is a full sister to Indulgent, who won the Go for Wanda grade 3 stakes winner on the dirt. There is nothing but quality in this pedigree, and I got to look at that workout on August the 19th, where he went in company with Sugar High, who was a winning debut winner for Bill Mott earlier this meet with an 80 Beyer, and is going to be running in the spin away on Sunday, and Jefferson Street outworked her without much fuss.
Yeah, and there's just nothing but class in Jefferson Street's pedigree. You mentioned a couple of those close relatives in Frosted and Indulgent. This is also the family of champion 2-year-old midshipmen, so certainly some precocity there. I don't think I would want to see this horse going any shorter than this 7 furlongs, that's for sure.
The 11 and 12 are also eligibles. The 11 is jockey Joel Rosario's second call, the 12 deposition, a first-time starter by Constitution. Let's take a look at our top picks for a very competitive edition of Spa Babies to kick off the dollar pick 6 on Jockey Club Gold Cup Saturday. Nicole, you're going with Enlighten. Well, if you like the Todd Pletcher training a City of Light 2-year-old at Saratoga angle, this is for you. I like his workouts. There's a lot to like about this horse.
Yeah, and I found a lot to like about him before he had those connections, before he had turned in those workouts. As I said, I saw him a year ago and just got a really good feeling from him. And I feel like sometimes when you look at a horse and think that, you ought to stick with them. And he's done nothing but impress me on that recent work tab.
I'm going to use my top 3 picks in any kind of multiple race wagers. I was very tempted to put Jefferson Street on top. I wonder how he'll deal with this outside post as a first-time starter. I like the experienced Dive Bomber game, did his debut. I think he worked well with blinkers the other day. I think we'll see a little bit more speed out of him, but this is a fun race. We might see some future stars out of it. 7-1-9-10 for Nicole, 9-10-7-3. It's Spa Babies for the final Saturday of the Saratoga meeting in 2023.